British pound, Japanese yen. This is a trade we did yesterday live in the Discord group. Okay. I can trade anything. Doesn't matter what it is. Yeah. Really, I have no emotional attachment to any instrument. I just look at the behavior, work it out and trade it. Yeah. But this is how you would look at this. So first of all, we need to draw support and resistance zones. We're not really interested in anything above an hour if we're day trading. So I've put this on an hour. Okay. Now this is not rocket science, and this is something once you've done, you can sort of put it on the other chart sets with the same instrument, but also just keep adding to it as well. Okay, what the Guardians does is it saves that time for you. It's very accurate. It's an algorithm and does it on multiple time frames straight away. So first of all, it's bloody obvious that there is a double top right up here. Okay, so that's, in theory, that's 2 touches. I like 3 or more touches of a zone. The zone is dictated by highs and lows. There's my high, there's my lows on that pivot. I'm going to shove that out to the right. That's my 60-minute zone. I always use pink for 60 minute, by the way. Okay, I can even look left and transcribe that left a little bit, and we can see here, oh, look at that. Okay, we have decision points, so many in that zone. It's a strong zone. Right. Now, that doesn't affect the price where we are right now, but it may do in the near future. So we need to understand that that's going to be on our chart. The next thing to do, because we've got a 4 chart set, is click on there, sync in layout. Okay. So now if I just go to the 4 chart layout, okay, and I zoom out a little bit, you'll see on that 10-minute, that's where the 60 minutes, that 60-minute zone is just up there. Okay. We're going to look at a few more. Okay. What I'm doing is I'm using my crosshair and I'm looking at major pivots that are useful for me both up and down. So I see another one here. Okay. So I can see this massive pivot where we pulled down. That draws my attention straight away. But also then if I look all the way right, we can see we've just had this pivot here. Just going to take that down a touch more, and I'll tell you why in a minute before I extend it out to the right. You see this pivot here, this pivot here, this pivot here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 touches. This recent, as was a test, and it's come back down again. That's a very strong 60-minute zone. I need that on my chart. And what do I do again? Click on it, sync in layout. Okay. Now, this is coming down. What's going to affect us coming down? Well, look at this pivot here, for example, and this pivot here. We need to understand there's actually a lot of probably going off around that sort of price zone. So again, once we start to draw, we can adjust. Okay. I want to be too fat, but what I want to do is there. So this recent rejection, I want to make sure I've got that in there. Okay. This rejection here, I've got that in there. Here, testing from a below as well. Good zone. So, what's the next one down if it breaks here? This one was on its own. It's a lone wolf. I don't think that is very relevant. This double bottom, maybe. But again, we've got to look left and we've got to understand if there's anything else along that sort of track that's going to help us. No, it's not. Okay. So we've got quite a bit of fresh air under there. Not to say, in fact, we have got a small zone here. If I just pick out this pivot here, okay, we've got a lot of support underneath here. So I'm not interested in trading in this bit. Well, I'm interested in it if it does break here. There's a hell of a lot of room to the downside to this next sort of this double bottom pivot here. is a very small zone, but I'm still going to put it in. Okay. So this is what's called framing your chart. So this is obviously we use this as part of the operational landscape when we talk about the trading buddy, but this framing your chart is something that you need to be skilled at if you haven't got an trader and the Guardian zones and everything else. So this is first part of it. So now we're going to go down to 30 minutes. Okay. So what I'm interested in now is you say, well, it's a half of 60, but I might see some really relevant zones that's going to come in and maybe sometimes overlapping and have confluence with those 60-minute zones. That's important to me for what's going to happen right now. So I am going to change the color once I start drawing. But right now I can see this double bottom here, okay, and I can see this pivot here, and then we're going to draw that in, and we're going to overlap with that pivot there here. So I use green for 30-minute zones, okay. I'm going to sync in layout. Did I do those other ones? Can't remember. Sync in layout. Thinking layout. Okay. That's relevant to me. I've had some tests into there that didn't get picked up by the 60-minute zones. Another pivot just in here, and that's slightly overlapping the 60, which is good for me. I can see another one within this 60-minute zone with these pivots here and here. Okay, so we've got about 5 touches here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 at the top, 12 at the top. Again, so this is where we've got what's called a confluence zone. So we've got 30 and the 60-minute there. Have we got anything in the middle that's really going to upset the apple cart right now? Probably not on the 60, on the 30, but on the 15, definitely. In fact, we've got one on the 30 here. Okay. Now you think there's no room to trade in there. Remember, this is a 30-minute chart. Okay, if you're doing this because you're trading off a 3-minute or a 5-minute or something like that. So now the next thing is go to the 15 minutes. So we're interested in going, really sort of granular. Is there anything in reality that's let's just adjust that 30 down to there. That's okay. So 15-minute always in cyan. So a new 15-minute is this here. Okay. Just going to change the color. So I'm looking at these touches here in particular, really, really granular there. That's a good 15-minute zone. Did I sync in layout? There we go. Okay, so we have got 2 points here and 1 point there. 1 point. No, I think we need to look at this. You've got to find areas where there's a lot of congestion. So here, for example, that is a 15-minute zone there. Okay, 2 touches from the top. Okay, we're clustering into there. Touch from the bottom, touch from the bottom, touch from the bottom. Okay, and then we've tested it from the top. It's rebounded off. Then we've got a lot of clustering here. And finally, it's broken through. They do get broken through, by the way. It's nothing set in stone. Very recently, and we're talking at this point here, we've had more than 3 touches on this zone. Very important as well. So we've actually framed our chart. So now we want to just make sure we sync in layout. Sync in layout. And we've done that one already. So I've used this chart in particular to be able to just to build that operational landscape, really. Okay. Now, hey, lo and behold, it's on the other chart. So whether I'm using the VWAP paired to the expert algo, whatever it is, doesn't matter the time frames right now, you can just see it on that other chart.